Welcome to Champagne Sunday. I'm Lauren.
Hey, I'm Bonnie.
I'm Beth.
And we're going to talk about life
After divorce.
And living
The best life.
and the life you love.
Yes, living the life you love on that other side.
Cheers.
Cheers. Welcome. Okay, ladies, as a follow-up after this fabulous Thanksgiving season, as we move on into Christmas, let's talk about how in the world we break up the monotony that just sort of overtakes and you realize that you are in day 10 of the exact same thing over and over and over.
You know, that's the definition of crazy. Is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So,
but there are things that we have to get done.
Yeah,
we have to get up and go to work and come home and do dinner and all of the things.
The monotony of daily life. I had a moment. I usually, I don't think about it too much, but there was one day where I had just every day in a row, I had cleaned the same things and I had cooked a meal at night, it was several days in a row, and I was like, I don't do anything but cook and clean. That's all I do. And then I was like, no, that's not really all you do. And holidays are something that breaks up the daily, you know.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
So even though they may be stressful, but I don't know. I mean, I think that's anybody. It's hard to have to go do the same thing every day, whether it's your job. I mean, even if you love your job and you love your family and you love your friends, sameness can be suffocating, I think.
I love my job, and I love driving, and that's a large part of my job. But about the second day out of 3 days in a row that I know I'm going to travel, I'm starting to look for, Googling what's a cool place to eat wherever I'm going, or what's this town known for, or can I get a picture of whatever the historical marker. Like the other day, I stopped at the Dog Cemetery because
you've also been to one of Elvis's sites lately in the past month or so.
Yeah. So I mean, I just thought I passed the sign every time, going and coming to this one place that I travel to, and I thought, today's the day. It was even raining, and I didn't care. I was like, today is the day that I go off road. And I did, and it was nice. It was peaceful out there. Mm. It was really cool. And some of the coon dog monuments, I'm sure, are better than what the men got for their wives, because they were really ornate and carved and super great. But that was a little thing, and that's what I do when I'm driving too. I'll look up what is the town known for, and has Garden and Gun magazine written up anything that's interesting over here, to eat wise? Because y'all know I love to eat at kind of dives and weird restaurants. Although I do love Miss Linda at Chicken Salad Chick. So. But that's too
personable people.
That's too below.
Yeah.
But I just think any little thing that you can do sometimes, because I get in those ruts where I just feel like I do the same thing every day. What day is it? Because I've done the same thing 4 days in a row. Mm-hmm. And I think when you're a single mom and you're having to do it all, getting bogged down in, have I done the laundry? Do I have dirty dishes in my sink? Did I feed everybody? Did everybody get a vegetable today? Mm-hmm. That kind of thing. Do I have enough stuff for lunches? It just gets to be a grind sometimes. Mm-hmm. So you have to put a little fun in it.
You look up and it'll be a month later and you realize you haven't done anything for yourself. During our pre-gaming, we were talking about I have reorganized my house as a way to sort of break up the monotony.
And it looks fabulous.
Just sort of rethinking how I use my spaces. And then just slowly every day moving something to the new space I want it to go to, making one effort towards moving things around from one area of this house to the other, so that it kind of better serves what I want it to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you get a house and you have this traditional way of thinking about a house. My dining room should be here, and I should have a dining room table, and I should have this. And really, if you don't entertain as much. Like, I hardly ever entertain anymore. I used to have big dinner parties and all that. I hardly ever entertain anymore, and I kind of like that. I mean, I would like to entertain, but I just don't know. I'm trying to repurpose my dining room right now.
I hardly ever sit at my dining room table. Like, I don't know about y'all. My like ex was real big on like you sit down at the table to eat dinner, but I didn't really grow up like that. I mean, like we grew up eating dinner on the fly, and I now usually, especially if it's just me or if it's just me and my boyfriend, we stand up in the kitchen and talk and eat dinner. Like that's what we did tonight, you know.
Well, and your house is like mine. I think all three of our houses, we don't have a kitchen table.
Mm-mm.
The only place we have to eat is our dining room.
But I think that's how they set it up. They didn't do.
Well, I actually have an eating
ate,
kitchen.
But the only people that actually ate in the kitchen were the people, like if you had a cook or something.
Well, I have the add-on, which should be an eating kitchen, but it's a studio for me. So, I don't have that. I did, when we first moved in, I had it set up as a kitchen, like we're at the kitchen table and all, and it just was the hugest catch-all. I never used it for anything.
I don't think I would use another table to sit at if I had it, because I'll sit down to watch TV, but otherwise I just don't sit very much. So we use if I'm having people over, the dining room table is not necessarily like a sit down and eat. It's more of like a here's where the food is.
Buffet.
Sure, buffet style.
Yeah.
And then like sometimes if I need, like my roommates had a meeting and the dining room table is great for a meeting, you know.
Yeah.
Or son and I will do arts and crafts and stuff like that. But,
I have mine set up because it's the room in my house that has the best light.
mm-hmm.
So I have all my easels and all my paints and stuff in there, so it's really too cluttered to be an actual dining room.
Mm-hmm.
We used it for Thanksgiving, but there was just 3 of us this year, so that was fine. But I usually have it set up with whatever project I'm working on or photographing or whatever. And it works great for that, but like I really need to rework that room.
I put up a new table in the den, but it wasn't to eat at. My thought was this will be a great place for a project table.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of if I need to sit down and want to be in this room instead of that room, because although I have a studio, I get tired of being in there, and so I'll move things to the den. But that way I have somewhere to set up and work.
I've started trying to. So my schedule, at least this semester, has been that I don't have to. Like I have virtual hours in the morning, so I don't have to be anywhere till noon usually. So I've started like getting up and doing like just a few little, like I'll do the normal stuff, but then I just like do tackle a new little thing pretty much every day. Just like, like I get, when we're talking about like breaking up monotony, I get overwhelmed with caring for things because I don't want to. Like I don't want to have to care for things. I don't want to have to care for my house. I don't enjoy it. But I have to. I'm a homeowner, and I'm the only one who's going to do it. I can't swing for like all these people to do it. So I'm like, okay, today I'm gonna sweep the porch, and that's my like break up the daily routine or whatever. But no, I get overwhelmed with the bigness of projects, and I have to like really, really trick my brain to think little tiny steps every time.
Well, and I don't. When I have to clean the house, like sweeping, that is not breaking up the monotony for me. That's adding to it. Like it's just another terrible thing. So in fact, when I really want to break up the monotony, I ignore the housework and things that I should be doing in favor of another project, an arty project. It's what can I do instead of that?
Yeah, let me distract myself from it.
Yeah,
I'm the queen of that.
Yeah, I mean it just. My house is straight right now because people came to my house for Thanksgiving. My daughter had her Friendsgiving here, and then I had my family over. So I had to get it in order because I knew that people were walking in the door. And I'd already started these big projects.
Right.
But I also find if I can just set my mind to something and say, okay, I have to get this done, if I don't think about it too much, I actually think I have to do it. So like Christmas, we'll have to start decorating for Christmas. So every day I'm going to have to do something towards getting the house decorated for Christmas.
Mm-hmm. I have to start that this week too.
Okay, do that.
Yeah. We have to have that done by the 9th.
Oh my goodness.
Just saying.
There's not going to be a monotony in the month of December.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Yeah, that's true. Our neighborhood has a judging. I don't think I'm going to have much to be judged. Y'all know there's a shortage in the Fraser fir. That's when we can't find the good garland, the good live garland to go around the house. So I don't know what I'll be doing.
Well, I have to get my socket in my living room fixed because apparently after the storm and my electrical box got knocked off when they rewired the 2 boxes upstairs and downstairs, apparently one circuit was left off and it's dead.
Oh no.
And that happens to be the plug that I use for my Christmas tree. My Christmas tree light. So it's just sitting there kind of.
Which is why you haven't noticed yet, because you haven't had to plug in a Christmas tree.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, I got it to that point and it has no lights on it. So as soon as that happens, I can get back into the groove. But my biggest thing was monotony, and I don't know if it's like this for y'all, but seasonally, in the winter, when I can't walk as much outside and it's cold and it's dreary, that's the time where I have to like move things around to different rooms.
Mm-hmm.
I don't stitch as much in my back room. I try to move to my front room so I can watch the cars go by. So, I just have to trick myself into it's not winter. I'm not stuck in the house. I just have to make it more of an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Christmas will be okay, but then after Christmas it'll be like that whole.
Yeah, I think Christmas time it's different. Probably, maybe this will be a good thing for us to re-listen to once January hits and everything comes to a complete and utter stop. Because Christmas time is, what are you doing this weekend? Well, I have this family event, I've got this church event, I've got this Christmas event, I've got, all of these things are planned for every single weekend in Christmas. And then when January hits, we're going to be like, oh, there's nothing, and we're going to end up back in that monotony.
All the winter is always pretty busy for me.
It's because you have shows, right?
I have shows. So like January, yes, Christmas will be over and New Year's will be over, but then when I start the new semester, I immediately start a new production, so that's fun. But anyway.
Well, I think in January a good way for us to break things up would be to plan. Okay, at least one weekend, let's find somewhere fun to go, or a place to go out, or do any of that kind of thing. Music. So if we've had that monotonous week, Monday through Friday night or Saturday, it's like, okay, this, we're going to go and just look at the downtown shops in this little town near us, or let's go out in the town next to us where they have a better nightlife and see what nightlife is like over there, or this band is playing, we can do something like that. It doesn't cost a whole lot, it just costs time, but I think especially during the day, being outside and doing something, I think is good. Definitely. And it wouldn't even have to be that much.
And I'll be depressed after football season's over. It takes me a couple weeks to get over. No college
that's
football.
The only football game I have watched all season was the one that happened yesterday.
The Iron Bowl.
Yep.
It sounds like it was a really fun one to watch. I chose to watch
always
Doctor Who
crazy.
instead.
Honey, that ball game every year, it doesn't matter if you're number one or you're the last team in the conference. It does not matter where Alabama is or where Auburn is. It's always a crazy, something happens.
They got into so many almost brawls last night, and in one of the clips, one of the refs does a backflip. I don't know if it's just I don't know if he was trying to just get out of action.
I think he got pushed.
He ended up doing the backflip. It was nutty.
It's
very
just
funny.
you don't know what's
he
going to
did a back
happen.
handspring out of the way?
You don't know
a back roll.
Okay.
But you don't know what's going to happen in that ball game. There's always something crazy that happens in that ball game. Always. I'm never surprised. It's always like some kind of fantasy, way out something. I mean, and it doesn't. And people do not understand that are not from the state of Alabama.
It's true.
They do not understand that at birth you're christened.
Oh,
Alabama or Auburn.
I know that you guys are Alabama fans, but I was born an Auburn fan.
Yeah,
I have no choice.
But we love you.
Well, I appreciate that. I was born into the orange and blue.
As long as it's that orange and not the other orange.
It is not the other orange. It's the home state orange.
The other orange we can't speak to.
That gaudy orange.
You'll have to leave your house.
Yeah, well, I think that both of the Alabama teams are opposed that gaudy orange.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's kind of funny because, we're all friends, but I'm like the football nut. You don't care. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm watching Doctor Who. I'm like, what?
Well, the new episode came out on the 25th, the same day as the Auburn Alabama game. I don't even, sorry.
I just watched it with
somewhere.
friends as an excuse to have snacks.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is why I love y'all, because y'all just accept me as the crazy.
Or you
college
accept
football
us
chick.
as not. Well, it's funny. So after divorce, so we used to get invited to go places to watch the Auburn Alabama game. Well, after divorce, nobody got me in the Auburn Alabama game, so I never was invited to go
Nobody was
anywhere.
awarded custody.
Nobody was awarded custody of me for the Auburn Alabama game, so I don't have anywhere to go.
Well, I have to say, I experienced that too until I moved here, and then I have another friend who's also divorced, and we always check, what do you have plans? Do you have plans? What are you doing? And they actually invited me over. They've invited me to a couple games because her now boyfriend cooks. So we can just sit and watch the game.
Oh.
And we're both like crazy college
Crazy
football
football
people. So it's kind of nice. We have a chef.
Bring me a sandwich.
Hey, baby.
Well, okay, speaking of chef, another way to break up the monotony is to find a new thing to cook.
That's true.
Oh,
A
I
new
love
way,
a new recipe.
to research new recipes and try something
I
different.
have been doing that a lot lately. Not so much with new recipes, but like revisiting old ones.
Yeah,
and
things that you liked.
Yeah.
I did that a lot. And that has kind of gotten me a little more chipper these last couple days because, well, my
you
son's
do
home
love to
and
cook.
I do love to cook. I just do not like my kitchen set up. And there's not anything I can do about it right this minute. But there's just no room in there. Like, I'm hemmed in. It's like a shoebox. So,
I have a tiny kitchen.
You do have a
And
tiny kitchen.
I love it. I love it because there's enough counter space for me to do what I need to do, and
I don't have
We don't-
have you seen my kitchen? I have no counter space.
Oh,
Very
really?
yours. I
no,
mean,
that would be
it's like-
hard.
No, your kitchen is bigger than hers by a smidge. But she
But
has more
she
counter
has
space.
more counter space.
She does.
It's a walk through. So this is not counter space on this wall. And then I have, the built in for your oven and the refrigerator and the sink, and then there's like
And do you have an island?
Well, I brought in a prep table that I had at my shop for the island, but it literally is not any wider than this ottoman. It's tiny.
Yeah.
Because it's the only, I can
There's just
stand
no
in my
other space.
kitchen and turn on my oven and open my refrigerator at the same time. But I
Which
was
you can
used to
probably
having
do
a
too.
really great kitchen.
Yeah, but my setup works really well for cooking. Like it
Yeah.
works really well for what I got to do.
Well, you do have a
Because
nice.
I bought that
triangle.
big piece. Because I used to have, this is way off topic, but I used to have this like weird little counter and this empty space in between, like just a couple years ago. And I found that piece, the big table, at a consignment shop in town, and I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh.
That's true. That made a
perfect.
huge difference.
Yeah.
So I ripped
I even
out,
forgot that wasn't
yeah,
there.
so I ripped out the little thing and put that there, and it has changed
Yeah.
the whole space. So.
And it makes it look like a professional kitchen.
It does. It looks.
It's
It looks
nice.
really good. I like it too.
Well, I was used to having a commercial kitchen.
Yeah.
And then I moved into this and I was like, okay.
Well, that's the only thing I don't like about my kitchen is the stove being in the middle on the island. Because as I burned an oven mitt on Thanksgiving, walked in, I was like, "What is that smell?" Yeah, I had forgotten to turn an eye off, laid the oven mitt on the stove, and it just, it already turned black.
Oh,
It was
no.
still on the front porch. So I
Some
took
people
it out
like
there.
that.
My sweet head does not always remember to turn things off. I need them out of the way. I don't need them right where we're going to set things and do things. You know what I mean? That's just, so, I don't know.
Well, okay, so new recipes is a good way
Yes.
for me, to find something that we all like to eat. That's a nice thing.
Rearranging your house, new
Rearranging
recipes,
furniture.
finding things to go do
Painting.
outside the house. Yeah, find a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have a hobby currently, then just spend some time on TikTok or whatever looking for one and try it. And if you hate it, try another one. If you hate it, try another one.
Yeah, there's plenty of things out there.
Yeah. It's a lot of things.
I've taught lots of people to stitch, all different kinds of things, crochet, knit.
I apparently can't crochet
Why?
because my great grandmother told me I couldn't. She gave up on me real early on. She was like, "Okay, I think you just need to stick with cross stitching."
Just stick with cross.
Just stick with cross stitching. She said I couldn't
Thanks,
crochet.
Mama.
I was like, "Okay."
There you go.
We called her grandmother. Thank you, grandmother.
Thank grandmother.
So I'll just have to stick with my painting and my drawing.
We might have to read it.
Oh no, it's fun to watch. Like I went for a while without watching much TV.
Oh yeah.
Like a whole year. It was the year I was getting divorced, I guess, and
Yeah.
we were both still in the house, and I just didn't go in the den very much, so I didn't. I
Right.
just kind of, and I'm a movie lover. I'm a theater person. I love film and TV. But I have started kind of like really getting back into watching a variety of shows, so that's always kind of fun to like have the little
I watched 16
treat at
Candles
the
the
end of
other
it. Did
night.
you?
I hadn't seen it in forever and I had forgotten a lot of it. It was cute. But yeah, I love movies too, and every once in a while I'll do that. So.
Well, that's when I was getting divorced, completely opposite. My daughter, because we did not live together, my daughter and I watched all of the 1980s movies together. Like, did all of that. So, but I love it when I don't watch TV for a while and then there's something to catch up on that I can totally binge.
Yeah.
Or when new things are out, like I got to watch a new episode yesterday.
I think just kind of keeping it interesting and going back to things that you enjoy, and then if there's something new you want to explore, I think this is when you find yourself just feeling like I do the same thing every day. Don't cut bangs. That's fine.
Oh my gosh, that's never a solution, is
What?
to get bangs.
Don't cut bangs.
No, I do not get, Now I
wanna
did
cut
cut,
your hair?
and
I
I did
think
cut my
part of-
hair not long ago, but it was because my back hurt and I was having a hard time drying it.
Oh,
It'll
really?
always grow back, but
Oh.
yeah.
No, I'm just thinking about it and what we're saying, and like part of me always has this like teeny little feeling like I'm waiting on something to happen. Like, does that make sense in life? And I don't.
I have
like,
that too.
Nothing specific. It's not anything specific.
Oh, a lot of the times when I'm like rearranging the house, whatever, I feel like
Yeah.
I'm preparing for
Yeah,
something.
what am I waiting on? Like, and it can't be, not to get morbid, but like we're gonna die. We know that we're all gonna die. But we can't, like, a lot of the routines that we do to take care of ourselves always just feel like we're just waiting on it. You know what I mean? So you have to figure out, is that completely depressing? Is that so depressing to say? But I mean,
But no, yeah.
But like, I mean, it's really about choosing what it is you're going to do with your life, because.
Okay, that reminds me, we were just talking about movies in Moonstruck.
What?
Olivia DeCocker said, "Why do men chase women? I need to know the answer of this." And they were like, "Because they fear death."
Because they do.
Because she asked everybody in the movie, and finally she's like, "No, I think it's because they fear death."
That's funny.
I hate having that feeling though. Like, I'm just waiting
I think
until.
that also, I've read a lot about trauma responses. I think that's a trauma response for, we all had that, like waiting for the next shoe to drop.
Yeah.
Living with people that we felt like we walked on eggshells with.
Yeah.
I think that's like a built-in.
That it's hard.
It can't be. This can't
It
be.
can't
as
just
good
be happy. It
because
can't just be.
Well, it's
sad.
also
something's
the-
gonna happen.
But on the flip side of that, I think we've all also been struck with we only have this one life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
I
spent
have
all
that.
of this time in toxicity and crap.
Yeah.
I would like to have fun, peaceful, happy
Yeah.
moments
Yeah.
going forward. And when you get stuck in the monotony, you feel the move towards death more, and
It's
instead
true.
of
And,
the
like,
happiness.
I feel the most alive and happiest really when I'm experiencing something new, or like if I'm going somewhere new. I love that. I love traveling. I love not even new, but going somewhere different or doing something different. So I am really, like, part of what we talked about cleaning out and stuff. I have been really trying to go through things and getting rid of stuff that I really realize that I don't want to have anything to do with. I would rather have experiences. So.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I've always wanted a screened-in porch on my house, and starting to price stuff like that out. That's not going to happen for ages, but I decided I would really rather go back to Italy.
Oh,
Several times over a screened-in porch.
I used to have all these plans to remodel my house and blah, blah, blah. And now I would walk around and I'm like, and my mother would always be like, "Nothing's wrong with your house. This is fine. You don't need to, this works fine." And now I'm like, you're right. It absolutely does. Like, I don't need to do a thing to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those. I don't. In fact, if I can find a way, I mean, I don't need a fancy kitchen because I don't love to cook. I mean, I do it and I enjoy it when I do it, but it feels monotonous when I do it all. So I don't need a fancy kitchen. I don't need a fancy. If I can
You
just
know,
make everything work, I can travel again.
I like cooking now, partly because I have someone who really appreciates it every time.
Yeah.
You know?
Bingo. That's a good.
That is
My kids appreciate
everything.
it, so I enjoy cooking for them, and they enjoy helping me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I do not mind cooking if somebody's in the kitchen with me. If I'm having a conversation or somebody's helping me and we're doing it together, that's fine. It's just I have one kid who will do that with me, and my other two don't. And so, and of course, nobody's home really. So
It's
It's
my
just
time
me.
to listen to music. I listen to a lot of music. That's another thing that I do.
Yeah.
Is I'll listen through artists that I like. I'll listen to the albums of theirs that I don't know as well, or like. My boyfriend is a big music lover, so he'll send me new things. So I'll stand in the kitchen and, play a new artist or, and cook. It's actually very calming. It's very
plus,
soothing.
I have gone through a time where I haven't been able to listen to music as much. It has made me sad, and so I have been listening to books, Audible books, just
Oh, that's a good
stories.
idea.
I've been
Mhm.
listening to a ton of cozy mysteries set in England and Scotland, so I can hear the fun accents. There's not a ton of romance, none of that, but I used to read all the time, to the point where my mother told me I could no longer bring a book into the grocery store because she could not navigate both the cart and me.
There you
So,
go. I used to do that too.
yeah, so I mean, it's one of those, it's kind of like bringing reading back, but I can get things done I need to get done. And I
Right.
don't have to, I'm still listening to something, so I don't have to have silence. But
Right.
and I'm listening to music again, but I'm also listening to these books. And the Libby app that goes with our local library, they have Audible books on
I
it
need to
too.
look at that.
So
know
you
that.
can put a hold on whatever, and you can listen to those that way as well. So I have a whole bunch. I've always got 10 of those on hold, waiting for them to roll off for me to listen to, and then I've got the ones that I've purchased, or I have the subscription on Audible too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like music on when I cook, and one of the best boyfriends I had would dance with me and cook.
Oh,
and
I love
was great.
that.
So
That's great.
that was
Add
really
that to the list
enjoyable.
of traits.
Yeah.
Dance while cooking.
Yes. Not that you have room in either of your kitchens to do such.
You'd be surprised.
Sorry, maybe I should have defined what kind of dancing you were doing. Oh.
Funny.
Okay, so what else about breaking up the monotony? I think phone calls, calling your people.
Yep.
I'll call my sister when I'm cooking sometimes, just to have somebody to talk to, because I don't, just to have something else going on at the same time.
Sometimes it's making, like, my job is very, it looks a little bit different every day, but I teach some of the same things. So sometimes it's like just reimagining how I do some of those things.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I'm like, I teach theater appreciation, and I haven't taught it live in a while, and I'm doing that this semester, and I realized, like, I've been teaching this the same way for a long time. So what else could I do that's good for them, but it's also going to be interesting for me?
Right.
You know.
Just kind
You
of
could
just
dress
revamp
like
it,
a big
rethinking. Well, it's kind of like a
Dinosaur the first
Just
time.
dress like a...
T-Rex the first time.
well, that's like, but that's, I mean, you can do that in any area of your life.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like
Mhm.
I've rethought how this house should work for me and rearranged complete rooms or moved things from one room to another and cleaned out and all of that. You can rethink how, like, what your routines are. Do you have to get your groceries on Saturdays every week? Can you get them on Sundays? Do you have, I no longer go to the grocery store if I can help it. I always do the app and order online and go pick it up, because I don't want to spend that hour in the grocery store. I want to just pick it up and bring it home. I want somebody else making those decisions, and I save money that way. Now, I'm not being able to pick out my fruits and veggies. I don't get to lay my hands on them, but I don't care, because I'm generally cooking them.
I'm a tactile person, so
Yeah.
I am too.
But
I also-
would
I'm
give
also
that
not-
up for that hour.
You know what's funny is I'm not like I go to the grocery store and buy tons of groceries at a time. I go to the grocery store like almost every day, and I just get
go
what
a
I
lot
need.
too.
Yeah.
And
for that.
whatever I'm cooking,
Yeah.
make sure I have the
Yeah.
ingredients. That's all I do.
Yeah.
See, and I just need to, I want to think about that. I think about that once a week, and I
Right.
plan the meals I want for that week. I order it all at the same time, and because I don't want to have, those are decisions that, especially when I was teaching, teaching English and all of that. Those were decisions I did not want to have to make.
Right.
There was just one more decision I was having to make. And it's given me that an hour back. Like, I'm so okay with somebody else picking out rotten fruit for me if it means that I don't have to go into that grocery store. If I can save that hour,
That's funny.
that's fine with me.
That's funny.
I mean, I'm good. But
the rotten strawberries are here, guys. Come get them.
Yo!
rinse them off. I'm cooking them anyway. Let's go. I mean, whatever. I mean, I just really, it's been game changing for me. That's the one thing that came out of the COVID, all the COVID stuff that has really changed my life.
And I'm thinking about gardening again. I did that the year after COVID, but I started this job and I travel so much, but I think I'm ready to do maybe a small container kind of.
If we could go back into quarantine, then I would garden.
We did a little.
Yeah, we did great when we were, but I don't have to not be home.
Yeah.
For all of those good middle of the day sunshine hours. Just there's so much that we did in quarantine. Our yards looked fabulous. I spent all of this time on the front porch. Lauren, I saw you every day.
I know.
It was just great. I mean, we didn't, because we were across the porches.
Every day.
Yeah.
It's totally slowed down.
Now, Beth, you walked 3 times a day every day.
I did. That's why I was so much thinner then.
But I think that I don't know. I loved that slower time.
I love that slower time too.
Maybe
I need to go on farmers.com.
I hated it. When I found out we were going into quarantine, I was like, what?
Yes, but you hated it because it was solidified the fact that you were getting divorced.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And if you could have quarantine now.
But that might be a good thing.
I would like quarantine now.
But that was a good thing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry you had to suffer.
Thank you.
So, well, anything else y'all can think of to break up the monotony of the daily grind?
I'm just a big proponent of do something that makes you happy. So do something that feels fun, that makes you happy if you need to get out of that kind of the rut of that.
And it's okay if your baseboards aren't clean and your floor needs to be vacuumed or mopped. You can let that go if you need a minute. Or at least I've lived by that motto pretty much my whole life. So
too late to stop now.
Exactly. So my baseboards are always going to be dirty and my floors are rarely clean. Just saying.
I just think exploring things that you're interested in. Sometimes, even if you don't actually take the class, sometimes I'll read about a class that I thought, hey, that sounds really interesting. And I read about it and I think that is enough to fulfill me and sustain me until the next time that I need to kind of feed myself a little something different to break up the monotony.
And I think that this is something that affects people who are empty nest even if they are married.
Oh, yeah, I think so too.
Because you end up with all of this free time and you don't know,
what
without having the child as the focus, you don't know how to fill it. And so finding a hobby.
Well, I took salsa class by myself. I'd like to do the swing thing. I've investigated
I can teach a swing.
There's a swing group that you can go to. There's also ballroom, which I'd like to get back into.
I might could do ballroom. I'll kill myself in a swing class right this minute.
Won't.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
I think
that would be
fun. Those kind of things. I mean, I just think if you just take some time to think about what's interesting to you, it's kind of I think the whole thing boils down to your attitude.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep thinking, like I have some friends that are very negative, if you keep thinking, my life is terrible, I don't make enough money for the effort that I put in, this job is not exactly what I want to do, I don't, get to do this, and this. If you think that way, yeah, you're going to be in the...
Well, you're going to make sure that you end up that way.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to manifest
It's
everything negative you're thinking.
Terrible. But if you think of, hey, today I get to do this. And today I get to make a decision on what I wear, what I eat, how I go about my day, how I greet whoever I run into at work. If you can think about that and then have something fun to look forward to, like a book or cooking a new recipe or
putting
a
lights
new class,
on the tree.
putting lights on the tree. There's lots of distractions this time of year, but in ordinary time, if you can think of some things that you'd like to think about, I think if you adjust your attitude to I get to do this, because basically what I found as a divorced person, if I think of I'm having to do all this by myself, I'm my own hero, blah, 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 you put a spin on it that is, you put added weight on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, today I get to do this, and I get to live in my house, and I get to make all these decisions by myself, and I have a really great life. Is it perfect? No. Is it always every day exciting and fun and fulfilling? No. But there are so many good things about being the captain of your own ship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
There are
gosh.
so many good things about
Yes.
making those decisions. What color I want my dining room, how I'm going to use my dining room. I can spread out a big puzzle on my dining room table and work on it for 3 weeks if I want to. No rush. I can do whatever. I can paint. I can do whatever I want to do. And if you think about it, if you change your attitude into what you get to do instead of what you have to do, I mean, you kind of making yourself your own hero of your own story instead of, getting mired down in it and getting caught in that rut of monotony. I think it's an easy thing to do as a single working mom, but if you can just somehow,
just because there's so many have-tos.
Well, and there's
think
also,
about-
and it's so easy to get trapped in the negative thoughts.
it is.
And you really have to stop, and you have to take the time to really, on purpose, say the things to yourself, or do the positive thing, or spend some time around that positive poly friend that you have.
Exactly.
To kind of get yourself out of that.
And on the opposite, don't be hanging around with the negative people and get dragged into
I've had
that
to
drama.
cut negative people out of
I
my
have
life.
too.
I just can't. I mean, I've already been there. I lived there for years. I don't have room for that anymore. I've got to live on the Hallmark Channel. I can never ever visit the other one ever again.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to be the small town girl for a while.
That's
Sorry.
all right.
The small town girl role has been filled.
All right. I am happy to be her quirky friend.
There you go. There you go.
I'm gonna be your quirky friend that pops in and out.
Champagne drinking friend.
That's exactly.
On the porch of small town girl.
There we go.
There's got to be a lumberjack in there somewhere, right? Isn't there usually some kind of lumberjack?
Well, we've already done Big Country Song.
Okay.
Literally.
I feel like the men in those movies though always work in the woods. They're always like working on trees.
Or they're starting a new business, or their family's business is about to fail, their Christmas tree farm, or their pumpkin farm,
Christmas tree farm,
or their bar,
Yes.
or their restaurant, or their whatever is about to fail, and they need her to come promote it. And
small town girl, come promote
Come
it.
on.
small town girl,
She's available. But she's on her own time period, so you just have to somehow fit in between all her activities. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hope you have hobbies.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Isn't that funny?
I think that's the other thing too is so I'm in a partnership now, and my partner has a lot of hobbies, and if you figure out, and so do I, but if you just lean into what you like to do, when you're gonna end up with the right fit for you too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So it will be better when you figure out who matches your life. You'll actually know who matches your life because you know what you want in your life.
Yeah, so right now I'm not in a period of my life where I am feeling lonely at all. I am very happy where I am.
Right.
And I'm going to be looking for things that I want to do just because I want to do them.
Yeah.
And I know that in order to meet anybody, if that is ever in my future, I have to get out there. But there's more chances of me meeting someone that I'm going to enjoy spending time with if I'm out there doing the things I like to do.
Yes.
Well, you've given up the grocery store as a good place to
I
live.
have given up the grocery store.
But
I have been to Lowe's twice this
Wait.
weekend.
Grocery delivery people.
No, thanks.
Kidding.
Not if they can't pick out decent strawberries. No.
Yeah, I could judge it.
They're rocking.
Wait, let me see how you chose the fruits and vegetables.
Did you squeeze the melon?
No, but I have been to Lowe's and Home Depot this past week.
There's
So, you know.
Being a woman
Me
at Lowe's
too.
and Home Depot will make you feel like a supermodel.
Hey,
I mean, it's like
I
they've
have
never
gotten
seen
cat calls.
It means it's like they have never seen a woman before. I always feel like a rock star, and I mean, I'll be in the middle of the show, covered in paint, like getting ready for the set, and be like, "Dang it, I gotta go to Lowe's," and I walk in, and they're like,
Hey.
"Is woman?"
If you speak their lingo, they really will give you some.
Yeah.
They'll give you some service, baby.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's right. Yeah, I have definitely cut out the grocery store. That's okay. I'm okay with that. So, all right. Well, ladies, what are y'all doing this week to live the life you love?
Well, I finished a Roll Tide Y'all ornament that I painted and I mocked
And
up
stitch.
and stitched, and I finished it, and it's pretty cute, and I'm going to
Market it.
market it on Thursday.
Yay.
That's fun.
So we'll
I think
see.
that's awesome.
We'll see if I can sell a couple of days. I've got 12 of them on my dining room table ready to go. So
I think that just decorating for Christmas this week is going to be fun.
I think just
That's I've
just
got to
doing
do that, and then I've got like, I mean, I'm a church musician and a college theater professor, so like, the month of December is I'm just
Head spinning.
gonna be
Yeah.
at church or work the whole time, and it's fun stuff. I mean, it's all holiday stuff, but I've got to get my ducks in a row, and
Yeah.
I have a lot of rehearsals, and we're going to Disney in 3 weeks.
I'm
students-
jealous.
My students are singing in candlelight, so like literally today I realized that we leave in 3 Sundays, and I'm freaking out a little bit. So I've just got to like
That's fabulous.
get on top of everything I need to do for those
There
things.
you go. So we got a lot going on.
Yeah, you do.
It's a bit more normal for my life. I felt like I hadn't had enough lately, and
And all of a sudden
You
got
were in
back.
a resting period.
I have been. No, it's been very nice though.
Yeah. Well, that's good. All right. You'll have a
Have a
wonderful
lovely
week.
week.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank y'all for joining us for Champagne Sunday.
See you next week,
See you
girls.
next week. Yeah, cheers.
Have a good week.
Yeah.
Cheers.